The Detroit Lions are going into a must-win game against the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford. In Los Angeles, they're already down Brian Branch and Terrion Arnold for the rest of this season. But could they be getting one of their biggest playmakers back in the secondary as they go on to take the NFC's best team on in the Los Angeles Rams? What up, though, everybody, and welcome to Lions Nation Unite. My name is Spencer Raxter of the Woodward Heavyweights. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, give Lions Nation Unite a follow on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and go over to lionsnationunite.com to get some of the best merch in the game, like the military benefiting editions that we've got in stock now. So go check them out at lionsnationunite.com. Now, the Detroit Lions are banged up, man. The secondary is down Terrion Arnold for the season. It's down Brian Branch for the season now with a torn Achilles. You see DJ Reed going in and out of the lineup, and it's Rakestraw has been on IR since he's been drafted. And Kerby Joseph has missed a majority of this season with a nagging knee injury. Now, we know that it is a cartilage injury in his knee to where he doesn't have enough cartilage in his knee, so the bones are kind of rubbing against each other. It's not something that could really get worse, but it is just a pain tolerance thing, and it hampers his ability to make plays. But Kerby Joseph could be returning. The book is not closed on Kerby Joseph just yet for the season. They have not taken him off of the roster. They're still giving him every chance he can to play in these games. I would be extremely surprised if Kerby Joseph played in one of these games for the remainder of the season, unless it was maybe week 18 at Chicago and the fate of the playoffs was on the line and we needed one shining hope and it could be Kerby Joseph. But if he wants to play in one of these games, you got to think that the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford are at the height of his list, and he is a petty king. This team is full of petty kings, and he did not forget, nor have Lions fans forgotten the way Matthew Stafford talked about him and gave him this dirty player moniker that is kind of stuck with him because Rams fans are stupid and don't exist. Vikings fans all are, I'm not going to go there because I would have said really harsh words, but these fans of other teams have been keeping this moniker that Kerby Joseph is this dirty player going on, and it's because of what Matthew Stafford said to him during the game. So if he wants to get up for a game, if he wants to get excited for a game, I'm sure that playing Matthew Stafford and playing the Los Angeles Rams is at the top of his list. So I doubt that this is he just doesn't want to play. He is trying to do everything he can. He's trying to go at practice. But now I believe it's 6 consecutive weeks, maybe 7 consecutive weeks where Kerby Joseph is not going to be with this Lions team. But here's what Dan Campbell had to say about him potentially returning for the game against the Los Angeles Rams.
No Brian Branch. I think people would feel a lot better if they knew Kerby Joseph was coming back. What's the last box that he's got to check to get back out on the field?
Well, I think it's, he's got to string a couple of practices together here to where, where he feels good, it looks good, he feels good, he comes in the next day, and there's no residual effects from the practice. That's it. I mean, really, we won't know until late in the week. We won't know where this is at. And then we got to, get on the plane and fly West Coast. That's not going to, make things great. But yet, that's part of it. You got to load up and hit high altitude when you got some stuff going on. So, but we'll see. I mean, the good news is he's to a point to where we can get him out there and hopefully string some practices together.
So there you hear Dan Campbell talk about them still trying to string certain practices together, and they're going to see how he feels at the end of the week. And after they fly to LA, if the inflammation on that knee is too bad, he's probably not going to go. And I think this is just kind of the shtick that we're going to get from Dan Campbell about Kerby Joseph for the rest of the year is just, we're trying him. He's got to string some practices together. He needs to show this. He needs to do that. I would be extremely surprised if Kerby Joseph played in a game for the remainder of the season. I do believe his season is over. It is effectively done for the most part. He's got, 4 games left, and they do need him. They could use his playmaking ability on the back end. Obviously, he's the best center fielder. He's the best safety in the National Football League. So having Kerby Joseph back would be an insane boost to this Detroit Lions defense, especially going up against a team like the Los Angeles Rams that has guys like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. They've got a gunslinger quarterback in Matthew Stafford. You could use one of your best secondary players in this one, but unfortunately, I just think Kerby's knee is too far gone. He's going to be fine. This is not something that will like hamper his career or anything like that. And after the season is over, quick surgery, clear it up, and then you start your rehab and you're good to go next season. So it's nothing like that Lions fans need to be worried about for Kerby Joseph. But I think they're just holding out hope that maybe one of these days he wakes up and he feels better. Maybe one of these days in one of these clutch must-win games down the stretch to try to get the Detroit Lions into the playoffs. Hey, we're going to have Kerby Joseph, and that would boost the defense. That would boost everybody's morale, and you've got the best thief of the football back in the National Football League. I believe that's why they haven't put him on IR. I believe that's why they're still bringing him to practice, because as of right now, this is not something that's going to get better. It is what it is. His knee is injured. It's not healing until he can have the surgery in the offseason. So right now, it's all right, let's take it week by week. And if Kerby Joseph can play this week, he's going to play. And we haven't gotten the week yet to where he's been able to play, unfortunately. And like I said, barring week 18 in Chicago being the game that gets you into the playoffs, I would be surprised if Kerby Joseph suits him up again this season for the Detroit Lions. That knee is just too far gone. He can't trust it, and he's dealing with some serious pain in that. We remember, back on Heavyweights 5-7 on Woodward Sports, we talked about an inside source saying they saw Kerby Joseph getting carried out of the club, and not because he had too much alcohol, not because he was partying too hard, but because he physically couldn't walk, because his leg was in such bad shape that he had to have his boys carry him out of the club because he could not put weight on that leg. So hopefully it's better than that. Hopefully we can see something down the stretch in these last couple games, but I would be extremely surprised if he was out there in LA against the Rams. And you're probably going to need him. This is one of the best teams in the National Football League. I think they're the best team in the NFC, and this is a true test for the Detroit Lions if they're ready to compete for a Super Bowl this year or not. You went out there against the Dallas Cowboys, and they had the hot team. They had the mismatches inside. They had the two deadly wide receivers. And you went out there and you shut them up. You owned them in every facet of the game, whether it be special teams, offense, or defense. You need to do the same thing against the Los Angeles Rams if you're the Detroit Lions for me to believe you're a true Super Bowl contender this season, let alone making it to the playoffs. If you want to prove to me that you can actually make a deep run in the playoffs, that you can actually beat some of these upper echelon teams in the NFC in January, you got to go to SoFi and you got to beat the Rams, and you're not going to get it done cheap. This isn't one you're going to win by a fluke. You need to be better than the Rams in all facets, like you are better than the Cowboys in all facets. If you want to win this game, they're well coached. They have great talent. They have a quarterback playing out of his mind, two of the best wide receivers in the league, and a ferocious pass rush. If you want to beat the Rams, you got to strap your big boy pants on if you're the Detroit Lions, and this will be a true litmus test to see whether or not they are a Super Bowl caliber team, and I think it's the last one left on the schedule. You don't believe me? Take Dan Campbell's word for it.
Say it's the best team you guys have faced this season?
Well, I think you got to put them up there for sure. We've seen some really good teams, but I think these guys are certainly, there's an argument for that to be made. They got guys in every area. They're loaded with talent. They play hard. They're well coached. They don't make mistakes. And they've got really good players at all the critical positions. So it'll be awesome. I mean, it really will. I mean, this is the cream of the crop right now. So we'll find out where we're at.
As Dan Campbell just said, the Rams are the team in the NFC. They're the best team in the NFC. They're the most complete team in the NFC. They've got a Super Bowl champion head coach, a Super Bowl champion quarterback, two of the best wide receivers in the National Football League, and a young, ferocious front seven that likes to get after the quarterback. If the Detroit Lions want to prove to their fans that they are truly a Super Bowl contender, you go out to LA and you beat the Rams. I don't care if you don't have a secondary. I don't care if your offensive line is mismatched. If you want to prove to us this year that you truly are about it, that you truly are the class in the NFC, these are the teams that you have to take down. It's going to be a tough test for the Detroit Lions. That offensive line and Miles Frazier need to perform as well as they did against the Dallas Cowboys, and Aiden Hutchinson is going to need to show up. He's going to need to go out there and prove why he's worth $50 million, because if you give Matt Stafford time with Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, he will pick you apart. The Detroit Lions have a big test coming in to this week's matchup with the Los Angeles Rams, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFC. Can the Detroit Lions get it done? We'll find out, but it sounds like they're not going to have Kerby Joseph, and that'll make it even tougher. Appreciate you tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button. I am Spencer Raxter of the Woodward Heavyweights. This is Lions Nation Unite. Give us a follow and subscribe to the channel. Give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And go over to LionsNationUnite.com to get some of the best merch in the game. Appreciate you guys tapping in. We'll see you next time. Peace.